Every moment, even now, the universe exhales, not with wind or sound, but with the slow rhythm of galaxies expanding, drifting apart like calm ripples on a boundless ocean. If you could listen closely enough, beyond the hum of your own heartbeat, you might hear it. A deep, patient breath, the quietest rhythm in existence. Welcome to AstraFlow. Here, science drifts like starlight, and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts slow down, your breathing find its rhythm, and your mind float through wonder. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Are you lying in bed under city lights? Or watching the stars from somewhere quiet? Tell me in the comments. It's always peaceful to imagine the AstraFlow community scattered across the world, drifting together through the same sky. And if this calm journey brings you peace, you can gently support AstraFlow by liking this video or subscribing. It helps this little corner of the cosmos keep glowing. Now, let's begin tonight's voyage into the quiet story of peaceful facts about the universe of deep rest and sleep. When you look up at the night sky, what you see is a fraction of a great stillness. A stillness made not of silence, but of balance. Every star, every drifting particle, every distant light is part of a rhythm older than time itself. We are floating in that rhythm now. Imagine the universe as a calm sea, where waves are measured in billions of years. Galaxies rise like slow tides, their edges soft, their light spreading gently through the dark. Even the moments of chaos, the birth of stars, the collisions of worlds, happen in silence, too vast for sound to cross. Everything moves, yet nothing hurries. As you breathe in, imagine space itself expanding, a slow stretch of everything that exists. As you breathe out, imagine gravity drawing it all gently back together, not to end, but to hold. In this balance of expansion and embrace, peace exists everywhere, even in the emptiness between stars. The night sky above your window is not a void. It's a mirror, reflecting the quiet order that holds you too. Your atoms once belonged to that light. They remember it. Every slow heartbeat is a small echo of that same cosmic pulse. So tonight, we drift together through a universe that never truly sleeps. A universe that expands, glows, fades and flows. Endlessly, peacefully, let its rhythm become your own. Let your thoughts dissolve into its stillness. You are part of that breath. What does it mean for something so vast, so endlessly in motion, to feel completely still? When you look up at the stars, they seem frozen in their places, quiet, unmoving, eternal. Yet beneath that illusion of stillness, the universe is flowing, expanding, transforming in ways too slow for our eyes to see. Stillness, perhaps, is not the absence of motion, but the balance of all things moving together. The earth spins gently beneath you, a full rotation every day, yet you feel nothing. The planet orbits the sun at 30 kilometers per second, and the sun itself drifts around the Milky Way, pulled by invisible tides of gravity. Every atom within you is vibrating, dancing, alive with energy. And yet, when you close your eyes, all of that movement blends into one feeling. Calm. Stillness, in truth, is the harmony of motion. The stars do not stop. They move in perfect patience. Galaxies collide and merge, yet over timescales so long, they seem to simply embrace. It is we who move too fast to see their peace. Tonight, as we travel through the quiet corners of the universe, we'll see how every cosmic truth, every fact, hides within it a lesson of calm. The Big Bang wasn't an explosion of noise, it was the slow unfolding of light. Gravity isn't a force of violence, it's the universe's way of holding itself together. Even darkness isn't empty, it's full of invisible matter shaping and cradling what we see. The more we learn, the gentler everything becomes. Science doesn't remove the mystery, it refines it. transforming chaos into understanding and understanding into peace. To know how the universe breathes is to feel how we, too, belong to its rhythm. So before you drift deeper, take one long, slow breath. Let your chest rise and fall like a planet turning. You are part of that stillness, vast, quiet, and eternal. As your mind begins to rest, imagine the stars not as distant fires, but as soft lanterns floating across an endless dark river. Each one whispering, "Everything moves, yet everything is still." Imagine unfolding a map so vast it has no edges. A map not of continents or oceans, but of everything that has ever existed. Every atom, every spark of light, every whisper of time. This is the universe. Not a place we stand inside, but the very fabric we're made of. In this quiet immensity, galaxies scatter like luminous dust, each one a collection of billions of suns, spinning together through invisible threads of gravity. Between them lies not emptiness, but the soft hum of possibility, dark matter, unseen energy, quiet forces weaving everything into one continuous flow. If we could zoom out far enough, past the spiral arms of the Milky Way, past the clusters and superclusters, we would see something beautiful, a pattern like rivers seen from above, galaxies connected by filaments of light, forming what scientists call the cosmic web. It stretches in every direction, without a true beginning or end, a network of starlit veins pulsing gently through the void. And if we zoom in, far closer than the smallest star, the pattern repeats. Atoms, too, are mostly space, tiny orbits of energy around invisible centers, moving endlessly, quietly. The structure of the vast and the minute mirrors itself, as though the universe has been drawing the same image again and again, from galaxies to cells, from nebulae to neurons. This symmetry, this repetition, is part of what makes the cosmos so peaceful. There is no chaos, only rhythm we do not yet perceive fully. Everything expands, cools, and balances, guided by the same invisible mathematics. A slow, universal breath that keeps creation stable. When astronomers gaze through powerful telescopes, they're not just looking outward, they're also looking backward in time. Light takes billions of years to reach us, so every image is a memory, a photograph of what once was. In the soft glow of a distant galaxy, we're seeing a past so ancient that our own planet did not yet exist, and yet here we are, made of the same atoms that once glowed in those early stars. We're not separate from the map. We are written upon it. Every breath you take contains particles that once belonged to comets, oceans, and constellations. You're an echo of the same expansion, a small calm note in an eternal song. So as you lie here, feeling the slow rhythm of your breathing, imagine that you are floating somewhere between the galaxies, weightless, infinite, and perfectly still. Not lost in the vastness, but held by it, because the map of everything includes you. Long before stars were born, before light had even found its voice, the universe was a soft cloud of hydrogen, the simplest element, the first whisper of matter. One proton, one electron. That was all. Yet from this gentle beginning, everything we know, every tree, every wave, every thought, would one day unfold. Hydrogen filled the young universe like a quiet mist, stretching farther than sight or time. There were no colours, no shapes, only this delicate fog suspended in the dark. And then gravity began to hum. Tiny fluctuations, denser here, lighter there, began pulling the gas together. The universe took its first breath. As the hydrogen clouds grew heavier, they pressed inward until the pressure ignited something new. Light. Stars were born, each one a glowing heart of hydrogen, fusing and releasing warmth into the cold. In their peaceful burning, They transformed simplicity into complexity, hydrogen into helium, carbon, oxygen, iron, the elements that would someday become oceans, mountains, and life. Hydrogen, the quietest atom, is also the most abundant. Even now it makes up nearly 3/4 of all visible matter in the cosmos. When you look at the Milky Way, that silvery band across the night sky, you're seeing ancient hydrogen still glowing, still whispering from across eternity. You carry it too. The water in your veins, the air in your lungs, all born from hydrogen's patient evolution. When you inhale, you're touching the same element that filled the newborn universe. When you exhale, you're returning it to the flow. It's humbling, isn't it? That the universe began with something so small, so simple, and yet from it, every galaxy and every thought has emerged. Hydrogen never sought to be anything more, it simply was, and in being, it became everything. As you breathe now, let that truth settle quietly in your mind. That peace doesn't come from stillness alone, it comes from balance, from being exactly what you are, and letting the universe move through you. In the deep silence of space, hydrogen still floats, vast, weightless, and waiting to become something new. A reminder that creation is never loud, never hurried. It unfolds softly, the way sleep arrives, gentle, inevitable, full of light. Every point of light you see in the night sky is a voice from the past. Each photon that reaches your eyes tonight began its journey long before there were oceans on Earth, or even an Earth at all. It has crossed emptiness and time, silent, patient, unstoppable, to arrive right here at this quiet moment where you are resting. Starlight is the universe remembering itself. It travels not through space but through memory, a thread that connects the newborn cosmos to the heartbeat of now. When you gaze upward, you're seeing history itself, glowing softly against the dark. Some of those stars may already have faded, their light now the only trace of their existence, and yet, in their glow, they still speak. Everything that ever was continues to echo. The light from our nearest star, the Sun, takes just 8 minutes to reach Earth, but others, the ones that shimmer faintly in the deepest parts of the night, send their light for thousands, even millions of years. Each ray carries information, the colour of its star, the rhythm of its pulse, the story of its birth. It is data, yes, but also poetry. The poetry of persistence. In the time it took that light to find you, galaxies collided, stars were born and died, and entire civilizations may have risen and vanished. Yet the light never faltered. It kept going, through nebulae, through silence, through time itself, until, tonight, it brushed the edge of your world and fell softly into your eyes. You might think of that photon, small and ancient, finding rest at last. After an impossible journey, it becomes warmth on your skin, or a spark of wonder in your mind. And in that instant, you and the universe recognize one another. Two travellers meeting in the dark. There's something comforting in that, isn't there? That even across infinite distance, something so delicate can endure. That light can outlast its source, and in doing so, keep love, memory, and meaning alive. Perhaps that's the secret of the universe's peace. It doesn't cling, it simply continues. So as you drift deeper, let starlight be your guide. Imagine it washing gently over you, soft, slow, endless. Each breath you take is like that light, quiet, ancient, and free. Let it flow through you, dissolving all that feels heavy. You're part of the same glow, the same endless whisper that began at the dawn of time. The universe is not static. It stretches, slowly, gently, like a long breath taken across eternity. Every second, space itself expands, carrying galaxies farther apart, yet never breaking the thread that connects them. It is motion without haste, a rhythm without sound. Scientists call it cosmic expansion, but to imagine it, think of ink drifting through water, smooth, continuous, without edges or effort. There is no centre to this movement, no point of origin still glowing behind us. The universe expands everywhere, all at once. Every star, every atom, every breath exists within this calm outward flow. Long ago, when the universe was young, expansion was fast, like a newborn stretching into being. Now it has slowed, its pace more patient, like a tide rolling in without end. Dark energy, an unseen force, drives this motion forward, soft and steady, ensuring that space continues to unfold like a flower opening in slow motion. Each petal, a galaxy. Each breath, a billion years. And yet, if you were drifting in the middle of that space, you would feel nothing. No wind, no pressure, no pull. Expansion is invisible. It's the quiet changing of scale, the gentle rearranging of distance. The stars do not know they are moving apart. They simply are, floating peacefully in their own small patches of sky. It's easy to think of expansion as a kind of loneliness. Galaxies drifting away from each other, forever isolated. But perhaps it's something else. Perhaps it's the universe's way of giving everything space to be itself. No collisions, no crowding, only calm separation, the freedom to exist in balance. And still, even as everything drifts outward, gravity holds each system close. Stars remain in orbit around their centres. Moons cling softly to their planets. You remain tethered to the Earth by an unseen gentleness that keeps you grounded. It's all part of the same rhythm, expansion and connection, letting go and holding on. So tonight, as you breathe, feel that dual motion within you. When you inhale, imagine the expansion of galaxies, distance opening, stars drifting. When you exhale, imagine gravity, the quiet return, the pull toward home. This is the rhythm that the universe follows. It is the rhythm you already know. Everything expands, everything connects, and in that balance between reaching and returning, peace is born. Far across the sea of darkness, galaxies drift, luminous islands suspended in endless night. Each one spins slowly, patiently, like a thought forming in the quiet mind of the cosmos. There are trillions of them, too many to imagine, each glowing softly with its own collection of stars, planets, dust and time. And yet, from a distance, they look serene. No rush, no sound, only light unfolding in silence. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is one of these islands, a vast spiral of hundreds of billions of stars, curving gently like a cosmic wave. It turns once every 200 million years, a single slow pirouette through the dark. Within its arms, stars are born, live and fade, all while the galaxy itself keeps turning, unhurried, in perfect rhythm. If you could watch it from far away, perhaps from a quiet edge of another universe, you would see the Milky Way glowing softly, like a single shell adrift on a black ocean. Clusters of stars like cities of light, nebulae like clouds of paint, dust lanes like threads of shadow weaving through the glow. Every motion is slow enough to soothe even time itself. Galaxies are not alone. They move together in groups and clusters, drawn by gravity's subtle hand. They orbit one another, sometimes touching, sometimes merging, their stars mingling like two slow rivers meeting. When galaxies collide, it isn't destruction, it's transformation. Stars rarely crash. Instead, they pass through, rearranging themselves into new spirals, new harmonies. Creation through contact, peace through change. Even the empty spaces between them hum with quiet energy. Dark matter forms bridges we cannot see, holding everything together like invisible threads of music. Through those threads, light travels, weaving stories of colour and gravity across unimaginable distances. To look at a galaxy is to look at time itself, not as a line, but as a living pattern. Every bright cluster tells a story millions of years old. Every faint glow holds the memory of beginnings. When we observe them, we're not intruding, we are remembering. The atoms in our eyes once burned in those same stars. So when you look up and see the faint silver mist of the Milky Way stretching across the night, let yourself imagine you are floating within it, weightless, calm, carried by the same gentle spin. The light above you is ancient, but its journey ends softly. Here, in your quiet gaze, you're part of that dream, a tiny spark resting in the arms of a galaxy that drifts forever, unafraid of the dark, invisible, weightless, and constant. Gravity is the universe's most patient embrace. It pulls without touch, connects without noise. It is the quiet agreement between all things to stay near, to orbit, to belong. Without it, light would scatter, planets would drift away, and stars would wander into darkness. But gravity keeps everything in rhythm, reminding every atom where home is. When you drop a pebble into still water, ripples move outward, soft circles expanding through the calm. Gravity is like that, except it moves through the fabric of space itself. Every mass, from a speck of dust to an entire galaxy, bends space a little, shaping the path that other things will follow. The result is not chaos but choreography, a cosmic waltz where each object glides in graceful response to another's pull. You feel gravity every day, though you rarely notice. It holds you close to the earth, presses you gently into your bed, keeps your feet steady on the ground. And the earth, in turn, feels the pull of the sun, circling endlessly in a balance of motion and trust. Even the sun itself is moving, drawn around the Milky Way by the gravity of countless unseen stars. Everything pulls, everything yields, and through that exchange, harmony is born. Scientists once believed space was empty, but Einstein showed us that it bends, flows, and responds, that space and time are not separate but part of the same living fabric. When something heavy like a star exists, it curves that fabric, creating wells of attraction. Planets don't orbit because they are tugged, they simply follow the curves. The universe is not a machine, it's a flowing field of connection. Even now you are part of this flow. The same force that keeps the moon close to the earth also moves through you. The atoms in your body tug on every mountain, every ocean, every star, so faintly you'll never feel it. Yet, it's there. In the physics of gravity, there is no true separation. Everything feels everything. Everything belongs to everything else. There's something deeply peaceful in that idea, that no part of existence is ever truly alone. Every orbit, every fall, every held breath is part of the same universal pulse. You are not floating apart from the cosmos. You are suspended within its gentle hold. So, as you breathe tonight, feel that quiet gravity, the weight that anchors you, the pull that keeps you grounded, the invisible calm that says, stay. Stay here, in this moment. Stay connected to everything that is. For even in the vast silence of space, nothing is ever lost. Everything in its own time is held close. If you could step back far enough, far beyond any telescope, beyond the swirl of galaxies and the dust between them, you would see something astonishing. The universe is not scattered randomly. It forms a structure, a grand invisible lace of light and shadow known as the cosmic web. Across this incomprehensible tapestry, galaxies gather in filaments that stretch hundreds of millions of light-years long. These filaments weave together into clusters, leaving vast dark voids between them, immense pockets of almost nothing where silence reigns. From afar, the pattern looks like the threads of a living organism, glowing veins pulsing through blackness, an endless neural network of creation. The filaments themselves are made mostly of dark matter, an invisible mass that cannot be seen but whose gravity shapes the universe. Like invisible strings, it guides galaxies into their places, pulling them gently together, yet allowing them to drift in balance. Through these threads, the first light of the universe once flowed, hydrogen gas, starlight, and energy forming the earliest galaxies. When scientists simulate this structure, they often find something poetic. The pattern of the cosmic web resembles the network inside a human brain. The same kind of branching, the same clustering, the same delicate rhythm of connection. It's as though the universe is thinking, not in words or thoughts, but in patterns of energy and balance. And just like the mind, most of its work happens in silence. The light travels through the filaments quietly, undisturbed. Gravity hums a low note beneath everything, guiding motion without command. Across billions of years this web remains, slowly shifting, gently flowing, a portrait of serenity on the grandest possible scale. If you were to float within one of those filaments, you would see galaxies strung along like pearls of faint fire. You could drift for millions of years and never reach an end. Each star system, each world, each sunlit ocean that might exist out there, all connected by invisible bridges. It's easy to think of the universe as empty, but the cosmic web reminds us that emptiness itself has form. That silence, when you listen closely, carries structure. Even the spaces between things are full of meaning, and just as galaxies connect through invisible threads, so do we. Our lives, our moments, our breath, all woven into the same vast design. When you rest tonight, you rest within that web. You're one of its luminous nodes, glowing quietly in the infinite fabric of everything. You belong utterly and peacefully to the pattern that never ends. Most of what exists in the universe cannot be seen, not by the eye, not even by the most powerful telescope. It moves without light, whispers without sound, and yet it holds the galaxies together. This unseen substance is called dark matter, and though we have never touched it, it touches everything. Scientists estimate that nearly 85% of all matter is dark. That means most of reality is invisible, a hidden architecture shaping what we see without revealing itself. If stars and planets are the surface of the universe, then dark matter is its foundation, the quiet structure beneath the light. It neither shines nor reflects, yet its gravity pulls with strength and patience, forming the skeleton upon which galaxies grow. Imagine space as a vast lake of glass. On its surface you see ripples of light, stars, planets, nebulae. But below, unseen currents flow slowly, steering those ripples, giving them shape. That's what dark matter is, the still water beneath the reflection. We don't yet know what it's made of. It could be tiny, undetectable particles that pass through everything, even you, without resistance. Every second, billions of them may drift through your body like mist through air, silent and harmless. You're bathed in them now, just as galaxies are, wrapped in an invisible halo that keeps them whole. There's a strange comfort in that idea, that something unseen protects and holds us. The stars owe their balance to it, their slow spins, their elegant shapes. Without dark matter, galaxies would tear apart, their stars flying off into the endless void. But with it, everything stays close. Everything continues to move together in harmony. Dark matter doesn't demand attention. It never glows, never calls out. Its peace lies in presence without display, in purpose without praise. It is the universe's quiet caretaker, content simply to keep the light alive. And maybe there's a lesson in that the most powerful things are often the gentlest. That what holds us steady might be invisible, but deeply felt. Just as love, memory and kindness leave no mark on the eye, yet shape our lives in silence. So as you lie here, surrounded by unseen stillness, Imagine dark matter as a soft web holding you in place, invisible hands cradling every planet, every breath, every dream. Let that awareness settle deep in your body. You're being held by the universe itself, not just by gravity or air, but by the calm persistence of something older, quieter, infinite. In the vastness of space where light cannot always reach, dark matter is the silence that keeps everything whole, the unseen peace at the heart of all creation. Time is not a single river flowing at one speed. It bends and stretches, drifts and folds, just like the space it moves through. Between galaxies, where gravity is faint and silence reigns, time moves differently, a little faster, a little freer, like a deep breath expanding into the dark. Einstein once revealed this truth. Time is woven into space, forming a single, fluid fabric. When gravity is strong, as near a star or planet, that fabric curves more deeply and time slows down. When gravity weakens, as in the vast spaces between galaxies, time flows more easily. So the minutes ticking away here on Earth pass differently than they do out there, where the light travels unhurried and unbound. Imagine two clocks, one resting on Earth, one drifting between galaxies, both ticking perfectly, both counting seconds. But as the one among the stars floats in near weightless stillness, its seconds slide just a little faster, its rhythm just a touch lighter. To us, the difference would be invisible, but across millions of years that difference becomes vast, whole ages passing quietly while we live a single life. This is the universe's gentle paradox. Time is both constant and fluid. Everywhere it moves forward, but not at the same pace. It ripples, like the surface of water stirred by gravity's invisible fingers. It bends around planets, wraps around stars, and stretches across the empty distances where nothing interrupts its flow. And perhaps that's why the night sky feels timeless. When you look at it, you're seeing light that began its journey before you were born, before the Earth even existed in some cases. To gaze upward is to look not just into distance, but into the past itself. Every twinkle is a window into an older moment still arriving now. The universe is not a clock, but a song, with notes that travel across eternity. If you could float between galaxies, you might never notice time passing at all. No sunrise, no heartbeat, no changing wind. Just soft light from a billion directions, each photon travelling its long path toward nowhere in particular. It would feel like being suspended in forever. But here, on this small planet, time carries us forward, through seasons, through thoughts, through sleep. And maybe that's what connects us to the stars. We both move through time, slowly, peacefully, obeying the same gentle rhythm. So tonight, let time flow as it does between galaxies, unhurried, unbound. Let the minutes dissolve into stillness, as if the clock itself has fallen silent. You're floating in the current of cosmic time, safe within its infinite calm. Long before stars were born, before galaxies turned in the dark, the universe glowed with a quiet, uniform light. It filled everything. No corners, no shadows, only warmth and brightness. That ancient radiance still surrounds us today, though it has faded to a faint whisper, stretched thin by time and expansion. It is called the cosmic microwave background, or simply the afterglow of creation. When you tune a television to static, a tiny fraction of that snow is this light, the last echo of the Big Bang, reaching you through the air, through walls, through silence. Everywhere you stand, it hums softly, the same in all directions, like a lullaby that never stopped playing. Its temperature now is barely above absolute zero, about 2.7 degrees, yet it fills the universe completely, a thin blanket of warmth that connects all of space. To imagine it, think of the moment after a great exhale, The universe had just expanded, cooled, and settled. Light, once trapped within the dense plasma of its youth, was finally free to move. That light spread outward, endlessly, peacefully, and it never stopped. Even now, more than 13 billion years later, it continues to drift, unchanged, untouched, carrying the quiet memory of the first dawn. This background light is not loud or bright. It is calm, nearly invisible, an ocean of photons so evenly spread that the universe looks smooth when seen through them. But tiny ripples exist, slight variations, mere thousandths of a degree, and within those ripples lay the seeds of everything. Galaxies, stars, planets, and life itself grew from those soft imperfections, like flowers blooming from the smallest grains of dust. It's astonishing to think that the peace of the universe, the balance we see in every orbit and every atom, was born from that gentle unevenness, not from force, but from variation, not from noise, but from whisper. A single note vibrating softly across the cosmos, forever echoing in the background of existence. When scientists measured this faint radiation, they discovered something profound. It is the same no matter where you look. Whether you gaze toward distant galaxies or the quiet emptiness between them, the afterglow is always there, wrapping everything in equal light. That means there is no special center to the universe, no single place of origin. Everywhere is the beginning, everywhere is home. So as you rest tonight, imagine that light still flowing through you, ancient, constant, serene. You're surrounded by the echo of the universe's first breath. It hums quietly in the background of your existence, a song too deep for ears, but perfect for sleep. The warmth of that first light never truly left. It simply became everything that followed. Close your eyes and feel it. The faint afterglow of creation, still shining softly across all of time. The peace of the beginning, still here, still holding you. Every star you see was once invisible, born from dust and silence, from the slow gathering of hydrogen in the dark. They begin quietly, gathering strength, their gravity pulling gas inward until pressure builds enough to ignite light. That first flicker is not an explosion, but a soft awakening, the moment the universe opens its eyes again. A star's life is a long, graceful rhythm for millions or billions of years. It shines with perfect balance, gravity pressing inward, light pushing outward. It breathes in its way, in cycles of fusion and release. Each second, it transforms simple atoms into warmth and brilliance, sending energy through the void. The light you see tonight may have started its journey before humans existed, a silent messenger travelling across ages just to touch your eyes. There are many kinds of stars. Some are small, dim, and patient, red dwarfs that burn slowly, conserving their light for trillions of years. Others are massive, bright, and brief, blue giants that blaze fiercely and fade young. Yet whether long-lived or short, gentle or intense, every star follows the same truth. It gives, it shines, and through that giving it sustains the universe. When a star has spent its fuel, it changes form. Some grow swollen and soft, becoming red giants that shed their outer layers like petals falling from a cosmic flower. Others collapse inward, leaving behind a dense white dwarf, a fading ember that will glow for billions of years more. And the most massive of all end their lives in magnificent silence, a supernova. For an instant, their light outshines entire galaxies. Then they fade, leaving behind either a neutron star, small and unimaginably dense, or a black hole, a place where gravity becomes pure stillness. But death in the universe is never an ending. The gas and dust a star releases return to space, where they form new clouds, new stars, new worlds. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in every breath. All of it was forged in the hearts of stars long gone. You are made of their peaceful endings. You are quite literally the universe remembering itself. There's something deeply comforting in that cycle. Birth, glow, transformation, return. Every star accepts its rhythm. There is no fear of fading, only the continuation of light in new forms. Even in rest, stars remain, not gone, just changed, their energy still flowing through the cosmos, through us. So, when you look up and see the soft shimmer of night, know this. Those stars are both alive and resting. Some are newborns, just learning to shine. Others are ghosts whose light has outlived them. Together they form a choir of peace, an endless song of giving, glowing, and becoming. Breathe deeply, feel their rhythm in your heartbeat, expansion and stillness, fire and calm. Like the stars, you are radiant in your own quiet way, a small light in the great cycle of creation, shining gently until it's time to rest and flow again. In the stillness between stars, great clouds drift. Vast, colourful oceans of dust and gas, illuminated softly by starlight filtering through their folds. These are nebulae, the nurseries of the universe, places where silence is full of creation and darkness glows from within. A nebula can stretch across light years, though it may look like a faint mist through a telescope. What appears as soft colour, pink, blue, violet, green, is light scattered by atoms of hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Each hue tells a quiet story, of temperature, of distance, of chemistry. To the human eye, they are breathtaking. To the universe, they are wombs, where gravity gathers gas and dust into something new. Inside a nebula, matter flows slowly, like fog stirred by a gentle current. Where density increases, gravity begins its quiet work, pulling atoms closer, folding clouds into knots of light. These knots grow heavier, warmer, until deep in their cores, fusion begins. A star opens its eyes. Another point of light is born. Sometimes entire clusters awaken together, forming families of stars that drift as one for millions of years. Others form alone, small and steady, lighting the darkness around them like candles in fog. In both cases, creation is never violent, only patient, balanced, beautiful. Even when radiation and winds shape the surrounding dust into arcs and spirals, the motion remains graceful, like breath flowing through silk. Many of the most famous nebulae, the Orion, the Eagle, the Carina, are so large that their light has travelled thousands of years just to reach us. When we gaze upon them, we're witnessing the beginning of something that may already have changed. The stars they nurture could have already bloomed and drifted apart. What we see is the past still shining. It's humbling to realize that these clouds, distant and slow, are the ancestors of everything solid and living. Every atom in your body once floated freely in such a nebula. The calcium in your bones, the carbon in your breath, all born in clouds like these, shaped by gravity's patient hands. To exist is to carry a piece of that creation within you. And perhaps that is why these images move us so deeply, because in their luminous stillness, we recognize something familiar, the quiet potential of becoming. A nebula is not finished. It is a promise suspended in time. The beauty of change before it happens. As you rest now, imagine yourself drifting inside one, surrounded by soft colour, gentle light filtering through endless mist. No noise, no direction, just slow movement and warmth. The air around you glowing faintly with birth, with possibility. Every breath you take is a continuation of that first creation. Every heartbeat, another small star coming alive. Sleep in that vision, within the cradle of the cosmos. The nebula hums quietly, shaping you, holding you, reminding you. From stillness, all light begins. At the centre of almost every galaxy, including our own, lies something that cannot be seen, only felt, a black hole. A region of gravity so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape its pull. It is not destruction, as it's often imagined, but the ultimate form of stillness, matter and energy drawn into perfect silence. Black holes form when massive stars reach the end of their lives. After burning for millions of years, they collapse under their own weight, their core shrinking to a single, infinitely dense point called a singularity. Around this point lies the event horizon, the boundary beyond which no information can return. To cross it is to vanish from the visible universe, not in fire, but in surrender. And yet this surrender creates beauty. Around a black hole, light bends gracefully, forming luminous rings and spirals of glowing gas. These accretion disks are among the most radiant objects in the cosmos. Matter circles the darkness in silence, moving faster than anywhere else in nature, until it disappears into the unseen, a dance between creation and disappearance, form and void. There is something deeply peaceful in that paradox. The black hole does not rage or consume, it simply is. An endpoint that is also a continuation, where time slows, matter transforms, and everything falls into unity. Some physicists believe information that enters a black hole is not destroyed, but encoded on its surface, preserved in ways we cannot yet understand. In this way, even what seems lost is never truly gone. The centre of our galaxy, the Milky Way, holds such a presence. Sagittarius A says, a supermassive black hole about 4 million times the mass of the Sun. It rests quietly, unhurried, holding the galaxy together with gravity's invisible hands. Every star, including our Sun, moves in rhythm with it, circling gently around that hidden stillness at the centre. Even chaos finds its anchor there. If you think of the universe as a great breath, then black holes are the pause, the moment of complete exhalation, where everything stops before beginning again. They remind us that stillness is not absence, but depth, not an end, but a kind of waiting. Sometimes peace comes from motion, sometimes it comes from gravity's patient silence, from letting go completely, from allowing yourself to be drawn inward, without resistance, into rest. So as you lie here, feel that pull, not of fear, but of release. The weight that draws you down into the bed, the slowing of thought, the drift towards sleep. You're orbiting your own quiet centre, the place where everything you are folds into calm. Let the edges of awareness fade like light circling the horizon of a black hole. You're not falling, you are becoming still. The universe too rests in such moments, breathing, holding, waiting. And in that infinite stillness, both you and the stars find peace. Across the dark canvas of space, not all stars are alone. Many travel in pairs, two radiant bodies bound by gravity, circling each other in endless, graceful motion. These are binary stars, companions for eternity, locked in a dance that can last billions of years. They move together without sound, their light weaving delicate arcs through the night. Sometimes one is large and brilliant, the other small and quiet, yet neither dominates. Each influences the other, tugging softly, their gravity a silent conversation. They move not out of conflict, but in harmony, each orbiting the shared centre between them, the invisible point where their forces meet in balance. It is a partnership of motion, a cosmic waltz where every step is guided by trust. If you could watch them over centuries, you would see their light shifting and merging, brightening when they draw close, dimming when they drift apart. But they never separate completely. Their connection is patient and unbreakable, written into the fabric of their motion. Sometimes one star even gives part of itself to the other, streams of gas flowing across the void between them like a luminous bridge of care. In the quiet language of physics, that is devotion. Astronomers have found that nearly half the stars in the Milky Way live this way, not as solitary suns, but as pairs or families. To exist, it seems, is to orbit, to share, to move in relation. Even the stars understand that balance requires another, a mirror, a partner, a point of gentle gravity to keep them from drifting away. The dance of binary stars reminds us of something deeply human. That peace does not mean isolation, but connection. That even in silence, there is companionship. Each orbit is a reminder that togetherness can be soft, slow, and eternal. Not clinging, but circling in quiet rhythm. Perhaps you have someone, somewhere, whose presence steadies your motion, a voice, a memory, a distant warmth. Like the faint glow of a companion star, it keeps your own light from wandering too far into the dark. As you breathe now, imagine yourself part of that dance, not spinning wildly, but turning gently around a shared, calm center. Your pulse and the universe's heartbeat moving together, steady, serene. You do not need to reach for the light. You already move within it. 2 stars, infinite night, 1 rhythm. The universe hums in pairs, in patterns, in quiet connection. And as you drift deeper into rest, know that you too are part of that balance, held, guided, and never truly alone. Long ago, ancient philosophers believed that the stars and planets produced music, not the kind we could hear with ears, but harmonies woven through their motion. They called it the music of the spheres, imagining each orbit, each rotation, as a note in a vast celestial song. They were wrong in sound, perhaps, but right in spirit, because the universe does sing, just not in the way we expect. Every star, planet, and cloud of gas vibrates. Each has a natural frequency, a tone born from its shape and motion. The sun, for instance, rings with low, deep pulses caused by waves moving through its plasma, vibrations that travel across its surface like sound through water. We cannot hear them directly, but with the right instruments, scientists can turn those vibrations into audible notes, and the result is astonishingly peaceful. A heartbeat of light, steady and eternal. Even black holes hum, resonating with gravitational waves when they merge. Their collisions ripple through space-time like the lowest possible chords, stretching across the universe. If our ears could hear gravity, it would sound like the deepest bell ever struck, its echo lasting for millions of years. The cosmos is not silent. It's filled with frequencies, from the radio whispers of pulsars, to the microwave hum of the early universe, to the infrared sighs of distant galaxies. Each vibration is a note, and together they create a harmony too vast for us to comprehend. The slow, ongoing song of existence. Perhaps that's why certain sounds calm us so deeply. Rain against glass, the hush of wind through trees, waves folding upon the shore. They carry a hint of that cosmic rhythm, a familiar pattern written into our atoms. After all, those atoms were born in stars that pulsed and sang their own harmonies billions of years ago. We are instruments built from their sound. If you could step back far enough, beyond the planets, beyond the Milky Way, and somehow hear the universe as one, it would not be noise. It would be music, steady, slow, and endless. A song made of gravity, light, and time, resonating softly through every atom that has ever existed. Tonight, as you rest, imagine that you are hearing it, not with your ears, but with your whole being, the rhythm of your breathing syncing with the quiet pulse of the stars, the beat of your heart aligning with the slow oscillation of galaxies. You are part of that melody, a single, peaceful note in a song that began before time itself. Let it move through you. Let it soften you. You're not outside the music. You are the music. The universe hums quietly in your bones, your breath, your dreams, and in that harmony there is only calm. In the soft glow of their stars, planets move like dancers, tracing invisible circles through the dark. Each follows its own rhythm, steady, patient, serene, guided by the same quiet gravity that binds all things. There is no haste in their motion, no noise in their path, only the calm persistence of orbit, the elegant repetition of cosmic balance. If you could watch from afar, you'd see entire solar systems turning like mobiles in an endless night. Every world in slow conversation with its sun. Some orbit close, wrapped in warmth and light. Others drift far away, gliding through colder, quieter reaches where the starlight is only a faint whisper. And yet, all move together, not in chaos, but in harmony. It is the universe's oldest dance, unfolding continuously since time began. The Earth too joins this motion. Every day it spins once around its axis, and every year it completes its long, graceful path around the sun. We rarely feel this journey, the steady rotation beneath our feet, the orbit that carries us through space at unimaginable speed. But even now, as you lie still, you are travelling, turning, moving, flowing with the planet through the silent tide of the cosmos. From this motion comes rhythm, the alternation of day and night, the cycle of seasons, the breath of time that nurtures life. If the earth were still, there would be no sunrise, no tide, no warmth. Stillness on this scale is movement perfected. The gentle drift of planets is what allows everything to exist in peace. Some worlds are small and rocky like our own. Others are vast and gaseous, wrapped in layers of coloured clouds that swirl for centuries. Jupiter, for example, spins faster than any other planet in our solar system, its bands of storm and light moving in endless motion. Saturn, adorned with its pale rings, glides through the dark like a thought of symmetry. Even distant Neptune, cold and blue, turns slowly beneath the faint sunlight, keeping to its quiet, faithful path. And beyond them all, countless other worlds, billions, perhaps trillions, orbit stars we may never see, some bathed in gentle warmth, others frozen and alone. Some may cradle life, others may sleep forever. Yet each one follows the same law of balance, obeying the same rhythm of attraction and release. The universe treats every orbit equally, with calm mathematical grace. There's something profoundly comforting in that order. No world rushes, no planet loses its way. Even when they wander, even when they shift, they always return, drawn softly back into their cosmic flow. So tonight, as you breathe, imagine your body as a small planet in orbit. Each inhale a slow curve toward the light, each exhale a drift into shadow. Your pulse, your breath, your stillness, all in motion, all in rhythm with the stars. You don't have to move fast to be alive. You only have to move gently, faithfully, in circles of calm. Just like the planets, you are carried, always, quietly, beautifully, through space. Every planet that drifts through the dark is accompanied by companions, moons that follow faithfully, reflecting light not their own. They are the quiet observers of the cosmos, small worlds orbiting in silence, their faces softly glowing with borrowed radiance, each one a mirror, each one a memory of its parent star. Our own moon, familiar and near, moves through its slow cycle of phases, new, crescent, full, fading. From the first sliver of silver at dusk to the luminous circle high in midnight sky, it is always the same body, only changing how it shares light. It turns toward the sun and gives that glow to us, a soft echo of day shining gently into night. When you look at it, you're not seeing the moon's own brightness. You're seeing sunlight reflected across 384,000 kilometers of space, falling quietly onto your skin. The moon does not shine to be seen. It shines because it cannot help but reflect. There's no effort, no intention, only stillness and acceptance, and perhaps that is what makes it so peaceful. Even as it waxes and wanes, it never struggles against its rhythm. It simply follows its orbit, perfectly timed, perfectly serene. Beyond Earth, there are hundreds of other moons, some larger than planets, some no bigger than mountains. Jupiter alone has more than 90, each locked in its own graceful path, caught in the planet's wide embrace. Saturn's moons drift among its rings like pearls suspended in music. One of them, Titan, has lakes and clouds, its own small world of methane and mist. Another, Enceladus, hides an ocean beneath ice and sprays gentle fountains into space, shimmering in Saturn's glow. Even there, in frozen silence, there is motion and light. Moons tell a story of reflection, not just of light, but of relationship. They remind us that illumination doesn't always come from within. Sometimes peace means allowing ourselves to receive, to reflect, to rest in borrowed brightness. The moon doesn't burn, it listens. It catches the light, softens it, and sends it back as something gentler, a calm that belongs to both the sun and the night. Think of how the moon pulls the tides, its invisible gravity stirring the oceans, guiding waves to rise and fall. Even from such distance, its presence is felt, constant, subtle, kind. You're mostly water. The moon moves through you too. Every tide in your blood, every rhythm in your sleep follows its silent orbit. When you rest under its light, you're responding to the same pull that moves entire seas. So tonight, imagine the moon watching over you, not as something far away, but as a reflection of calm within yourself. It does not ask for attention. It simply exists, steady and luminous, no matter how dark the sky becomes. You are like that too, glowing quietly, shaped by the same forces, turning in the same rhythm. Let your thoughts soften, your breath slow. Be like the moon, still, reflective, full of gentle light. Even in darkness you are illuminated. Even in silence you shine. Once in a great while, across the deep calm of the night sky, a comet drifts into view, a traveller returning from the farthest edges of the solar system. It glows faintly at first, then unfurls a shimmering tail of dust and ice, stretching millions of kilometres behind it, like a luminous veil trailing across the stars. And then, just as softly as it appeared, it fades again, vanishing into the outer dark for centuries, perhaps millennia. Comets are time capsules, frozen remnants of the early universe, untouched since the dawn of creation. They formed when the sun itself was young, before planets had fully gathered, when dust and gas still swirled in a slow celestial storm. Each one carries within it the ancient ingredients of life: water, carbon, organic molecules. When they approach the sun, that ice begins to vaporize and the comet begins to shine, not because it burns, but because it releases. Light born of letting go. Their orbits are vast, stretching far beyond the outermost planets, into regions so distant that sunlight there is only a memory. Some comets take hundreds of years to return. Others will never return at all, yet when they do, the universe remembers. A brief spark moves across the dark, a whisper of the beginning gliding through the present. For ancient people, comets were omens, messengers of change. But in truth, they are poems of patience. They move through their immense arcs not with urgency, but with absolute faith in their path. They do not question the length of their journey, nor the centuries of silence between moments of light. They simply travel, quietly, persistently, obeying the same gravitational rhythm as the stars themselves. Imagine being such a traveller, weightless, ageless, gliding through the black sea of space. The stars distant, the sun a faint glimmer ahead, your motion slow but unbroken. There is no sound, no time, only the feeling of direction, the knowledge of return. And when you finally draw near the warmth of the sun, you begin to glow again, for no reason other than that you've come home to the light. We are not so different. Our lives too move in long arcs, times of brightness, times of distance, times of return. We drift through our orbits, leaving trails of memory, of kindness, of light. And even when we fade for a while, we're not lost. We are simply travelling, waiting for the next approach, the next awakening, the next moment to glow again. So, as you rest tonight, imagine yourself as a comet, ancient, calm, and unhurried. Feel the pull that guides you gently through the darkness, the rhythm of a journey older than time. You're moving through space, not falling, not lost, just following your quiet orbit back toward warmth. Let the thought of that path bring peace. For even the most distant traveller is part of the same harmony, the same light, the same endless flow. If you were to hold out your hand in the dark, you could not see it. But the space between your fingers is filled with dust, not the kind that gathers on shelves or drifts in sunlight, but stardust, ancient particles that have travelled for billions of years, waiting quietly to become something new. This dust was born in the hearts of stars. When a massive star reaches the end of its life and releases its final light, it scatters its elements across the universe: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, the building blocks of everything. Over time, those fragments drift through space, joining clouds of gas and forming new stars, new planets, new possibilities. Everything that exists is part of that endless recycling of light. The gold in a wedding ring, the calcium in a seashell, the oxygen you just breathed, all once belonged to a star that lived and died long before our sun was born. Even now, the dust of ancient supernovae falls upon the earth every day, invisible, soft, constant. Each particle carries a quiet history of fusion and fire, a story that began before the earth had oceans, before the moon had formed. And within you, that story continues. Your body is a constellation made solid. Atoms that once burned in distant suns now woven into thought, breath and heartbeat. You're not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos, conscious for a brief, shining moment. When you look up at the stars, you're seeing yourself, reflected billions of years into the past. The phrase "we are made of stardust" is not poetry alone. It is literal truth. It means that life itself is the universe remembering how to shine. Each cell in your body hums with ancient energy, the same energy that glows in distant galaxies. You're not simply in the universe. The universe is within you, flowing, renewing, breathing. And when this moment, this life passes, when our atoms scatter again, they will continue to travel, to merge, to form new things. Perhaps part of you will one day burn inside a distant sun. Perhaps another part will drift in a nebula, waiting patiently to become a flower, a moon, a breath in someone else's chest. Nothing is lost. Everything transforms. In this, there is peace, not in permanence but in participation. To exist is to be part of a cycle so vast it cannot fail. No beginning, no end, only flow. So, as you breathe tonight, feel that truth within you. With every inhale, the universe gathers. With every exhale, it releases. You are a rhythm written in stardust, carried by time, connected to everything. Let that connection cradle you. Let it remind you. You were never small. You were never apart. You have always been light, simply changing form. From the swirling clouds of stardust, something extraordinary emerged. Chemistry that could feel. The same atoms that once drifted silently through space began to arrange themselves into patterns of motion, repetition, and memory. Carbon joined with oxygen, nitrogen with hydrogen, forming the first molecules that could copy themselves, that could remember. And from that memory, life began. It didn't happen all at once. The process was patient, unfolding over billions of years. Oceans cooling, minerals dissolving, energy from the sun mixing with the sea. Tiny reactions occurred again and again, some fading, others continuing. Eventually, in one small, quiet corner of the cosmos, molecules learned how to sustain themselves. They learned to persist. That persistence, the will to continue, is what we call life. Every cell in your body still carries that chemistry, the echo of that original flow. Your DNA, a double helix of possibility, is a direct descendant of those first molecules that formed in the ancient waters of Earth. It is written in the same language as the stars, simple, repeating, beautiful. 4 letters, 4 elements, endlessly combining to create consciousness. Life is not separate from the universe. It is the universe's way of knowing itself. Every creature, every tree, every heartbeat is made of the same atoms rearranged. Energy folding in on itself to ask the quiet question, what am I? And even though life takes countless forms, coral and cloud, bird and breath, it follows the same chemistry, the same rules written in light. When you hold a leaf, you hold a fragment of that first spark, a record of the same physics that guides the stars. The calm of life does not come from stillness, but from connection. Every exchange of air between you and a forest, every wave that rises and falls, all are acts of chemistry, sharing molecules older than memory. When you exhale, the carbon in your breath may one day become part of a mountain, or a seed, or a comet's tail. There is no separation, only flow. The more we learn about life, the more it resembles the universe that created it. Cells divide like galaxies branching. Neurons connect like the cosmic web itself. Filaments of light exchanging information across distance. Perhaps consciousness is not an exception, but a continuation, a softer version of the same pattern that began when hydrogen first lit its flame. So tonight, as your thoughts quiet and your body drifts toward rest, remember, you are not small chemistry. You are living starlight. The atoms within you still hum with the same energy that powered the first stars. Your breath, your pulse, your dreams, all are chemical symphonies shaped by cosmic law. Let them move as they will. There's no need to control, no need to resist. You are part of a process that has never failed. A flow that began before time and will continue long after memory. Close your eyes and feel it, the quiet chemistry of existence. Still working, still creating, still alive. When night falls and the last traces of sunlight fade, the earth reveals its oldest memory. The stars, they appear slowly, shyly, one by one, until the sky becomes a vast sea of silver and black, ancient light flickering across an ocean of air. Every point you see is a story, every shimmer a messenger from the past, crossing unimaginable distances to rest upon your eyes tonight. The night sky is both infinite and intimate. It stretches beyond comprehension, yet it feels close enough to touch. Its calmness is not emptiness, it is depth. Behind that darkness lies everything that ever was, quietly existing beyond our reach. The stars do not compete for attention. They shine in cooperation, creating constellations, maps written by human longing. For thousands of years, people have looked up at this same sky, searching for meaning, guidance, or peace. Travelers used it to find their way across oceans. Ancient poets saw in it reflections of their gods, their hopes, their love. And even now, when we no longer need the stars to navigate our journeys, we still need them to navigate our thoughts. They remind us how to be small without being insignificant, how to be still without being lost. There is a soft comfort in knowing that the stars above you are the same ones your ancestors once saw, unchanged, steadfast, patient. The light that reaches you tonight left its source before you were born, perhaps before humanity existed. When you gaze at it, you're seeing both the present and the past, folded together in a single moment. The sky becomes a bridge between time and being, between what is and what was. Sometimes when the air is clear and the world is quiet, you can even see the Milky Way, a faint band of light like smoke rising through the heavens. It's not smoke, of course, but billions of stars packed so densely that their light merges into one. That glow is our home galaxy, seen from within, the luminous river we belong to flowing endlessly through the dark. In that view lies a kind of peace no words can hold. It humbles and comforts at once. Because to look at the night sky is to understand two truths at once, that you are infinitely small and that you are inseparably part of infinity. The distance does not divide, it connects. Every atom in your body has seen that light before, in another form, another time. So as you lie here, let the stars above you become your ceiling, your quiet shelter. Imagine them pulsing softly with your breath, expanding as you inhale, fading gently as you exhale. You don't have to reach for them. They already live within you. Each star a reflection of the light you carry inside. Close your eyes. Let the night embrace you, as it has embraced countless dreamers before. The sky has always been there, watching, waiting, whispering. You are not alone beneath it. You never were. You never will be. Light moves faster than anything else we know. 300,000 kilometers every second, enough to circle the Earth 7 times in the blink of an eye. Yet even this speed, so unimaginable to us, is not infinite. There is a limit, a quiet boundary woven into the structure of reality. And that boundary, rather than being harsh, gives the universe its beauty, its shape, its peace. Because light travels at a constant speed, it takes time to move from place to place. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was 1 second ago, the sun as it was 8 minutes ago, the nearest stars as they were years ago. Every gaze into the sky is a look backward, a gentle reaching through time. We never see the universe as it is, only as it was. And somehow that feels right. It reminds us that everything, even light, has its own rhythm. Without this limit, the universe would be chaos, every signal arriving at once, every event tangled. But light's constancy brings order. It slows the cosmos into harmony. It allows stories to unfold, memories to travel, and distance to mean something. Even delay becomes beauty. Imagine a beam of light leaving a star billions of years ago. It has crossed the black seas of space, weaving through nebulae and clusters, its path bent by gravity and dust, yet never stopping. That same photon might end its journey tonight, softly touching the back of your eye, completing a voyage longer than time as we know it. For that tiny particle of light, you are the destination. You are the end of its story, and so much happens along the way. Time slows for light, stretched by its speed until a photon experiences no duration at all. To it there is no journey, only the instant of leaving and the instant of arriving, both the same. It moves in eternal now. Perhaps that is why light feels sacred, because it shows us what timelessness looks like. We live slower lives, bound by seconds and seasons. But the light that fills our world is beyond those measures. It touches everything gently and equally. The faces of oceans, the rings of Saturn, the sleeping earth turning through night. It reveals without judging, and when blocked, it waits, returning with the next dawn. So tonight, let light's patience become your own. You don't have to reach its speed to share its calm. You can reflect it the way the moon does, softly, faithfully, at your own pace. Every thought, every dream, every breath can move at the speed of peace. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as light, travelling effortlessly through space. No resistance, no weight, no time, just motion, gentle and free. In that endless flow, everything connects. Every heartbeat, every star, every quiet soul glowing somewhere far away. All part of the same radiant rhythm. Light does not hurry, it simply arrives, and so will you. Exactly when and where you are meant to. The universe, too, has its seasons. Not measured in months or weather, but in vast rhythms of light and motion, the slow breathing of galaxies, the pulsing of stars, the birth and fading of worlds. Time on this scale is so wide and gentle that it feels like stillness. But if you look closely, everything changes. Everything flows. Our sun, steady and golden, is young compared to the universe. A middle-aged star glowing calmly in its long summer of life. It will shine for billions more years before softening into a red giant, before exhaling its outer layers into space like petals of light. That moment, still far away, will mark the changing of seasons for our little solar system, one day fading into a quieter form, a white dwarf cooling through eternity. Galaxies have their own long cycles too. They are born as small clouds of stars, then merge and grow, their spiral arms expanding like the unfurling of flowers in cosmic spring. Over billions of years they age, their arms thinning, their centres brightening, until they become giant elliptical shapes, smooth and still, glowing softly in galactic autumn. Even the grandest things have their seasons of youth, maturity and rest. When galaxies collide, it is not violence but renewal. Two rivers of starlight meeting and mixing, forming new patterns, new worlds. Where chaos might seem to reign, creation quietly unfolds. The universe uses time not as a clock, but as a sculptor, reshaping, cooling, and blooming again in endless patience. There are seasons, too, in the smaller rhythms of our own world, the drift of continents, the rise and fall of oceans, the long, slow breaths of Earth's climate and life. Each cycle connects to a greater one, planetary, stellar, galactic threads in a vast tapestry of motion, and we, tiny and brief, are woven into that same pattern. Think of your own life in these terms, not as a straight line, but as a series of seasons, times of warmth and stillness, of expansion and retreat, each one necessary, each one part of the greater balance. Just as galaxies bloom and fade, you too unfold in rhythms that the universe understands. There is no wrong pace, only flow. When we accept that even stars have their winters, peace follows. Because rest, too, is part of the cosmic design. The same laws that make suns burn also ensure that they one day cool, not in failure, but in fulfillment. A return to stillness so that light may begin again elsewhere. So tonight, as you breathe beneath the quiet sky, feel yourself within those vast seasons. You are not separate from time's motion. You are carried within it, safely and softly, like a leaf upon a long, slow current. There is no need to rush toward any future. The universe moves patiently, and you move with it. Let your own season be what it is, calm, unhurried, enough. Because even in stillness, the galaxies turn. Even in rest, the cosmos continues to bloom. Nothing in the universe is ever truly lost. Not light, not sound, not motion, only transformed, reshaped, folded quietly into something new. Every event, every spark, every breath leaves a trace, a soft imprint upon the fabric of space and time. The universe is a great memory, vast, silent and complete. When a star releases light, that light travels forever, even after the star is gone. It becomes part of the faint background glow that fills the night, still whispering its origin across eternity. When matter collides or moves, it sends ripples through space-time, gravitational waves spreading outward, carrying the record of motion. Even the smallest vibration, the faintest whisper of energy, lingers somewhere, echoing across the infinite dark. Our world too holds memory in its quiet ways. The rocks beneath your feet remember heat and pressure from ages past. The oceans carry traces of ancient rains, ancient rivers, ancient breath. And within your own body, the atoms remember fusion in forgotten stars, billions of years before your first heartbeat. You're a living archive of cosmic history. In physics, there is a rule. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. That means that every smile, every word, every sigh of wind remains somewhere, changed but not gone. Your thoughts, your warmth, your movement, all contribute to the great flow of memory that never stops circulating. You have always been part of the record, even when unaware. Even black holes, those symbols of disappearance, may hold what they swallow. Some scientists believe that their surfaces, or at the event horizons, preserve every detail of what has fallen in, written as faint vibrations of quantum information. Perhaps the universe itself does not forget. Perhaps every experience, every flicker of existence, remains woven into the invisible fabric we move through. There is peace in that, to know that nothing is wasted, that every moment, no matter how small, becomes part of an eternal continuity. The laughter of a child, the fall of a leaf, the fading of a star, all equally stored, all equally cherished in the quiet balance of space and time. When we feel alone or unseen, we can remember. The universe sees everything, holds everything, remembers everything. Your existence, brief as it seems, is permanent in ways that matter cannot undo. Every thought, every kindness, every gentle act ripples outward, never truly ending. So tonight, as you rest, imagine the stars above as memory itself, each one a point of remembrance, holding the story of what once was. The light you see is old, but it is not gone. It has travelled all this way to remind you that your own moments too will never vanish. They will flow onward, folded into the calm memory of all things. You are part of that remembrance, a chapter written in light, and even when you sleep, the universe keeps your place. Every photon that touches you tonight began its journey long ago, a fragment of time still travelling, carrying with it the story of where it has been. Light is not just brightness, it is remembrance. Each beam is a messenger from the past, crossing oceans of space to tell you that something once glowed, somewhere, for a moment that has never truly ended. When light leaves a star, it does not fade immediately. It keeps moving, passing through dust, nebulae, and galaxies, bending gently through gravity's invisible hand. It may travel for billions of years before meeting anything, a planet, a mirror, or perhaps simply your eyes, and in that instant, all the distance collapses. You become the end of that light's journey, the witness to a story older than life. Every ray of sunlight that warms your face is 8 minutes old. Every star you see may have burned out thousands of years ago. Even the glow of galaxies at the edge of our telescopes began its voyage when the universe itself was young. What you see is the past, made visible. The night sky is not a window, but a memory, one that never forgets, and yet light also transforms as it travels. It stretches as space expands, its colour shifting slowly from blue to red, its energy thinning but never dying. This process, called redshift, is like the aging of light, a soft slowing, a graceful fading not into darkness but into quiet. The light does not vanish. It becomes part of the calm background that hums between galaxies, a radiant echo of everything that ever was. Even here on Earth, light carries memory. The glow of a candle tells the story of stored sunlight, captured by plants through photosynthesis, converted, preserved, and finally released again. When you light a candle, you are witnessing ancient sunlight returning to the air, a small act of remembrance, flickering gently in your hands. In this way, all light is a cycle, creation, reflection, return. It flows endlessly, changing form but never essence. It moves through you, too. The photons that touch your eyes trigger signals that become perception, thought, understanding. Every moment of sight is a meeting between the outer universe and the inner one. You're not just seeing light, you're completing its memory. And when you close your eyes, that memory continues. The afterglow you see behind your eyelids, the soft shimmer of shapes and warmth, that too is light, lingering, refusing to disappear. It is the mind remembering the sun, the stars, the gentle lamps of existence. So as you rest, think of yourself as part of that flow, a keeper of light. Every kindness you share, every peaceful thought, every breath of gratitude becomes its own small radiance, travelling outward, perhaps to touch someone far away, someday yet to come. Light never forgets where it has been. And in its persistence we find comfort, that every warmth, every love, every brief glow of life endures. You're both made of light and surrounded by it, living memory in motion, shining softly through time. When we look into the night sky, we often see darkness, vast stretches between stars, quiet and endless. It feels like emptiness, a great nothing. But that darkness is an illusion. Space is never truly empty. It hums with invisible energy, with particles that appear and vanish, with gravity's patient pull and the faint murmur of ancient light. Even in the most silent regions between galaxies, there is presence, the low whisper of the quantum field, a sea of potential that fills every corner of existence. Tiny fluctuations ripple through it constantly, giving rise to particles that live for the briefest heartbeat of time before returning to stillness. To the human eye, it seems like void, but beneath that calm is movement too delicate to see, a pulse of creation and dissolution that never ends. Dark energy, too, lives in this space, pushing the universe outward, expanding it slowly like a breath that never stops. It is unseen, unmeasured except through its effect, yet it drives everything apart and keeps the cosmos smooth, balanced, whole. Emptiness, it turns out, is the fabric that holds everything together. Think of a pause between notes in a song. Without the silence, there would be no rhythm. Without the space between, the melody could not exist. The universe, too, plays its music through these pauses, the long quiet between bursts of light, between the birth of stars, between one moment and the next. The silence is not absence, it is form. Even within you, emptiness is what allows life. Your atoms are almost entirely space, electrons orbiting nuclei at unimaginable distances. If all that space were removed, your body could fit into a grain of sand, though it would still weigh the same. You are built on emptiness, and yet you are fully real. Your solidity is an illusion created by movement, by energy dancing too fast to see. So when you gaze into the dark and feel small, remember that darkness is alive. Every inch of it is alive with hidden light, hidden motion, hidden potential. It is the quiet background that allows everything else to shine. And maybe that's what peace truly is, not the absence of thought or sound or light, but the space between them, the soft room where everything can breathe, the stillness that gives shape to motion, the silence that holds meaning. When you close your eyes, you may feel that same darkness, not frightening, but infinite, soft, safe. The mind floats there the way galaxies float in the void. Your thoughts rise and fall like stars forming and fading, while awareness remains, vast, silent, steady. You're not separate from that emptiness. You are that emptiness. It is your foundation, your background, your peace. Within it, everything can exist. Every feeling, every dream, every breath. Let yourself rest in it now. Do not fear the dark between things. It is not nothingness. It is everything waiting to become, the quiet cradle of all creation. Infinity is a word we use easily, but rarely understand. We imagine it as endless distance, a horizon that never arrives, a number that never stops. But the true nature of infinity is not overwhelming. It is gentle. It is not a storm of vastness, but a calm so complete that limits dissolve. The universe may be infinite, or it may simply be without edge, curved in such a way that travelling forever would bring you back to where you began. In either case, there is no border, no final wall that says enough, just continuation, just flow. And in that endlessness, everything finds its place. If you could drift outward, past the Milky Way, beyond the filaments of the cosmic web and keep going, you would never fall off. Space would continue to unfold quietly before you, star by star, cluster by cluster, like the slow turning of a great wheel. No boundary, no bottom, only the subtle pulse of existence extending forever. It sounds immense, and it is. But it is also peaceful, because what is endless never hurries. It simply is. Mathematicians say infinity is not a number, but a relationship. The recognition that there is always more to learn, more to become, more to remember. And in the same way, the universe does not need an edge to be whole. It is completeness through continuation, fullness through flow. When you look at the night sky, the stars seem far apart, but their light touches across eternity. That contact, faint, patient, steady, is infinity made visible. Even darkness participates in it, because infinity includes everything, light and shadow, beginning and end, all wrapped in the same quiet fabric. The mind struggles to grasp infinity, but the heart already understands. When you love, when you forgive, when you breathe deeply without needing a reason, you feel a small echo of the boundless. There is no measurement for that peace. It expands gently, like the sky opening after rain. You don't have to reach infinity to touch it. You're already within it. Every atom, every thought, every heartbeat extending outward without end. Your infinity folded into awareness, the universe remembering itself in human form. So as you rest, imagine that you are floating at the edge of everything, though in truth there is no edge at all. Around you, the stars stretch forever, their light soft, their motion slow, no up, no down, no beginning, no end. Only the endless calm of being. Let your mind expand without effort, like light travelling through open space. Feel how far you go, how far you already are. Infinity is not something to chase. It is the space that holds you. It is the breath of existence, the quiet promise that there will always be more light to see, more peace to find, more time to rest. You're already part of forever, and forever, in its infinite gentleness, is part of you. Time, like a river, moves forward, always, silently, patiently. It never rushes, though it never stops. From the smallest flicker of a particle to the slow drift of galaxies, everything flows along its current, and yet within that flow there is no hurry, no command to arrive, only movement. Only change. We often think of time as something strict, a line, a ticking clock, a limit. But the universe experiences it differently. There is no single tempo, no single path. For a photon of light, time does not pass at all. For a black hole, time slows nearly to nothing. And for us, here on Earth, it drifts at a pace set by our hearts and days, the slow rhythm of life unfolding. Physicists call this flow the arrow of time. It points from order toward entropy, from youth toward age, from birth toward stillness. But even entropy, the quiet spreading of energy, is not destruction. It's the universe's way of relaxing, of evening itself out, smoothing every rough edge into balance. Time is not a thief. It is a soft brush, blending everything back into harmony. Look at the clouds that drift above oceans. The way they form and fade without struggle, or the waves that rise and fall, never identical but always familiar. That is time at work, gentle, rhythmic, cleansing. It doesn't take, it transforms. It turns chaos into calm, motion into memory, light into rest. And just as rivers return to the sea, so too does every moment return to stillness. We age, not as loss, but as unfolding. Every second brings us closer to peace, to equilibrium, to the quiet pulse that underlies all things. In this sense, time's direction is kindness, the gradual invitation to let go. The stars themselves follow it. They are born, they shine, they fade. Their light crosses the void, stretching thinner with each billion years, until it joins the faint hum of background radiation, the eternal dusk of the cosmos, and yet, in that fading lies beauty. Because through it, new stars are born, new worlds glow, new life begins. The arrow of time is not a fall, it's a cycle of renewal too vast to see in one lifetime. You live inside that rhythm every day. Every breath you take is time flowing through you. An inhale of beginnings, an exhale of release. Each moment passes, but nothing is truly gone. It only changes form, carried forward into something new. So as you rest tonight, don't resist the flow. Let time move through you softly, like a current around a stone. There's no need to hold it, no need to measure it. You are part of its motion, always in sync with its patient direction. Feel it now, the slowing of thought, the easing of breath, the long arc of stillness approaching. Time moves forward, yes, but gently. And if you listen closely, you can hear it whisper as it passes, nothing is lost. Everything simply becomes. At first glance, the universe seems wild. Galaxies collide, stars explode, black holes devour, and entire worlds vanish into silence. It feels like chaos, immense, uncontrollable, infinite. And yet, hidden within that motion is harmony. For every burst of creation, there is an equal stillness that follows. Every storm, no matter how vast, ends in peace. This is the universe's quiet secret. It balances itself perfectly. It does not erase disorder. It includes it. From that inclusion, beauty arises. The same explosion that destroys a star also scatters the elements that will form new suns, new oceans, new life. Chaos is not the opposite of calm. It is part of the same flow. When a supernova erupts, it seems like violence, but it is a birth cry, breakaway, not an ending. The blast releases clouds of matter that drift through the galaxy, slowly cooling, condensing into new nebulae. From those nebulae, new stars awaken. From those stars, planets form. From those planets, perhaps, consciousness blooms again. Even the fiercest motion carries the seed of stillness within it. You can see this balance everywhere. In the shifting of the seasons, the storm that gives way to quiet air, the frost melting into new growth. In your own breath, expansion and release, tension and rest, both needed to sustain life. The universe doesn't choose one or the other. It dances between them endlessly, gracefully, forever returning to center. Physicists call this balance symmetry, the elegant order that underlies chaos. When particles collide, they follow patterns. When galaxies spiral, they obey invisible geometry. Even randomness has form, hidden but precise. This is why, though the cosmos moves in constant change, it never unravels. It breathes. In, out, energy and stillness, light and dark. A single pulse, vast and serene. And within that balance we find our own peace. The mind, too, has its storms. Thoughts rising and fading, emotions flaring like solar winds. But just as stars stabilize after their brightest outbursts, so do we return to equilibrium, We are not meant to silence every wave, only to float within them, to trust that calm will always follow motion as night follows day. Even the most distant galaxies obey this truth. After every collision, gravity gathers what remains, sculpting new spirals, new shapes, new beginnings. Nothing is wasted, nothing truly lost. So when your thoughts feel scattered, remember the stars, They too have burned, collapsed, and reformed countless times, and each time the result was light. Balance is not perfection, it is the art of returning. As you breathe tonight, feel that cosmic balance working within you. Inhale, the small creation of life. Exhale, the gentle surrender to rest. You're both chaos and calm, both motion and stillness, both the question and the peace that answers it. In that duality, there is no conflict, there is only flow, and in that flow everything finds its place again. In all the vastness of the cosmos, among the galaxies, the stars, and the quiet dust between them, there exists something profoundly rare: awareness, the ability not just to exist, but to know that you exist, to look up at the night sky and feel wonder, to ask where you came from and what it all means. That awareness, your awareness, is not separate from the universe. It is the universe seeing itself. Every particle in your body was once part of something ancient, a star, a nebula, a cloud of light. For billions of years, those atoms drifted, collided, combined, dissolved, and reformed, until one day they found themselves arranged in a way that could think. The cosmos organized itself into eyes that could look back at the stars, and into a mind that could understand its own origins. You're not outside looking in. You're inside looking out. You're the way the universe feels its own existence. When you look at a distant galaxy, light that left it eons ago enters your eyes and becomes thought, becomes experience. In that moment, something extraordinary happens. A bridge forms between the infinite and the intimate. The light remembers where it came from, and you remember where you belong. It's all the same motion, awareness flowing through time, recognizing itself in new forms. Consciousness is often described as fragile, but it may be the most resilient thing of all. It persists across forms, from stars that burn to cells that live, to the neurons firing softly in your brain. It adapts, transforms, expands. It dreams through us, thinks through us, loves through us. And when we rest, it rests with us, folded gently into silence, waiting to awaken again. In the quantum fabric of reality, even particles seem to respond to observation. When we look, the universe changes. When we don't, it remains potential, a wave of possibilities, unchosen. Perhaps, at the deepest level, awareness is not an accident, but a feature. The cosmos learning to see, to feel, to know. Through life it gains reflection. Through reflection it gains meaning. There is a beautiful humility in this thought, that you're not small in the face of the universe. You're the face of the universe, one of its countless expressions. When you think, it thinks. When you love, it loves. When you rest, it dreams. And when you sleep, perhaps you return to that vast awareness, the one that has been flowing since the first light appeared. So as you lie here beneath the same stars that made you, let that awareness soften. You don't have to hold it or understand it. Just let it breathe. The same consciousness that holds galaxies together also holds your heart, your breath, your peace, your stardust that has learned to listen. You're the cosmos remembering itself. Close your eyes. Let awareness become still, not gone, just quiet. Like the universe between pulses of light, it simply waits, and in that waiting, it finds harmony. You are home within it, always were, always will be. When night settles and the mind begins to drift, something sacred happens, a return. Your breath slows, thoughts loosen, and awareness gently dissolves into the same quiet that holds the stars. Sleep, though small and personal, is a reflection of the universe's own rhythm. Expansion and rest, light and darkness, motion and stillness. Just as galaxies pause between their long revolutions, so do you. Just as stars exhale their light before fading into peace, so does your mind release its thoughts before entering dream. The cycle of sleep and waking is the echo of the cosmos breathing, a nightly reminder that stillness is not the absence of life, but its balance. While you sleep, the universe continues without you, or perhaps with you, in another way. Your body joins the planet's rhythm, its temperature cooling, its pulse syncing with the Earth's slow rotation. Every cell hums in repair, every neuron reorders its light, just as galaxies reorganize their stars. You rest not apart from the cosmos, but within its pattern, carried in the same current that moves oceans and comets alike. Dreams, too, mirror creation. They are constellations of thought, fragments of memory and imagination joining together in strange and luminous ways. Like stars forming in a nebula, they emerge from nothingness, shine briefly and fade, leaving behind warmth and mystery. In dreams, the mind becomes the universe again, boundless, fluid, filled with light that belongs to no single place. There is a reason deep sleep feels like floating, because in truth, you are. Your consciousness drifts into that same dark sea that galaxies drift through, the void that isn't empty, the silence that isn't dead. There, the self dissolves, not in loss, but in unity. The boundaries that define you fade, and what remains is pure awareness, infinite, weightless, serene. Every night this happens. Every night you rejoin the flow. You become space again, not the body, not the thoughts, but the stillness between them. Sleep is your personal version of the universe's great exhale. It is the small return to the larger pattern, the soft folding of being back into being. Even the timing aligns. Our need for rest follows the turning of the earth, the play of light and shadow. Day calls us into activity, and night invites us home. It is not coincidence, it is choreography. We rise and fade in rhythm with the planet's rotation, which in turn follows the sun, which follows the galaxy, which follows the quiet flow of everything. Every sleeper, every dreamer is part of that harmony. So as you drift toward rest tonight, remember that sleep is not a pause from the universe. It is your participation in it. The same calm that moves through the stars moves through you. The same peace that fills the cosmic void fills your chest. When you close your eyes, you're not disappearing. You're becoming infinite again, folded back into the silence that made you. Let yourself go. Let thought dissolve as galaxies dissolve into night. You're not falling asleep. You're returning to stillness, to origin, to the deep rhythm of all things, and there, in that soft return, the universe dreams through you. Night is not the opposite of day. It is the world's exhale, a long, slow release after hours of motion. When the sun lowers beyond the horizon, the air cools, the colours fade, and everything begins to breathe differently. The noise of day softens into the rhythm of life at rest. The universe itself feels closer then, its quiet breath aligning with your own. If you listen closely, you can sense it. The hum of insects, the far-off sigh of wind through leaves, the pulse of your heart syncing with the pulse of the earth. It is all part of one continuous respiration. Galaxies expanding, oceans moving, lungs filling and emptying. In this rhythm, nothing is isolated. Everything inhales together, everything exhales together. Night doesn't simply fall, it arrives like a tide. It touches mountaintops first, then treetops, then rooftops, then your eyelids. Darkness spreads gently, not to erase the world, but to reveal it differently. What was loud becomes soft. What was bright becomes deep. And what was hidden, your thoughts, your emotions, your quiet truths, begins to rise like constellations emerging after sunset. The ancient sky watchers understood this. They called night the mother of light, because every dawn is born from darkness. Without the night, the stars could not be seen. Without rest, the mind cannot dream. Night is not emptiness, it is restoration, the time when everything returns to its natural pace, its natural stillness. When you breathe in now, feel the coolness of night entering your body. It carries the same molecules that drift between galaxies, ancient, light, eternal. When you breathe out, you give something back: warmth, motion, presence. Each breath you take is an exchange with the cosmos. You receive its calm, you return your life, and both are sacred. If you step outside, even for a moment, and look up, you'll see that the darkness is not truly dark. It glows faintly, filled with the scattered light of stars, planets, and dust. The Milky Way stretches like a soft scar of memory, a reminder that even in stillness, movement continues. Night breathes just as you do. The stars are its slow heartbeat, the moon its steady gaze. You are part of that breath. Your body too follows this rhythm, energy fading, temperature lowering, awareness releasing. Sleep is not something that happens to you. It is something you do with the universe. It is the joining of your breath with the breath of everything else. Let that idea fill you now, that your breathing is cosmic. Each inhale, a quiet tide of galaxies drawing in. Each exhale, the stars sighing back into peace. You are not merely beneath the night. You are the night, in miniature, remembering how to rest. So, breathe slowly. Let the day go. Let your edges soften, your pace unwind. The universe exhales through you, and you through it. This is harmony, vast, invisible, infinite. The gentle breath of night, moving quietly through all things. From the moment we are born, we measure life in closeness, to people, to warmth, to home. But in the stillness of night, when the stars appear, we're reminded of another kind of comfort, the peace of distance, the quiet assurance that even what seems far away can still belong to us. Look up at the sky. Every point of light you see is impossibly distant, yet its glow has crossed unimaginable space just to meet your eyes. That distance is not separation. It is connection stretched thin across time. The universe trusts the space between things. It knows that distance allows motion, perspective, and calm. If the stars were too close, the sky would burn too bright to sleep beneath. If galaxies crowded together, they would tear each other apart. Instead, they drift at gentle intervals, held together by invisible threads of gravity. Even isolation on this scale becomes grace. The way a pause in music gives meaning to the notes. Our lives too need these spaces. Moments of quiet between words, solitude between days. The universe teaches that closeness is not the only form of love. Sometimes it is the room we leave around each other that keeps everything whole. Distance gives memory its tenderness. It gives longing its beauty. It allows everything to breathe. Between the Earth and the Moon lies 384,000 kilometers of space, yet their pull upon one another is constant. Between galaxies lie light years of dark, yet gravity never forgets their names. Even between you and the furthest star a connection remains, the shared dust, the shared beginning, the quiet recognition of belonging to the same story. When you think of someone far away, or of a dream not yet reached, imagine the space between you as luminous instead of empty, a corridor of quiet energy, patient and kind. Distance is simply another dimension of touch, stretched across light and time. So tonight, as you lie still, let distance comfort you. Let it soften everything that feels far. You're surrounded by space that holds you gently, not as emptiness, but as protection. Every horizon, every breath of separation exists so that you can see, feel, and rest. The universe expands because it can, and in that expansion there is peace. It does not fear the gaps between stars because even those are filled with the faint glow of memory. The same is true for you. Whatever feels distant tonight still glows softly within the same field of being. Close your eyes and imagine that vastness surrounding you. Cool, calm, endless. You're safe within it, suspended in perfect proportion, neither too near nor too far from anything that matters. This is the comfort of distance, space enough to breathe, light enough to see, and quiet enough to dream. When you close your eyes and feel the slow rhythm of your breath, you might imagine that you're small, a single being, resting beneath an infinite sky. But in truth, the sky is not above you, it is within you. Every element, every atom, every shimmer of energy that exists in the universe exists inside you too. You are not beneath the stars, you are made of them. The same hydrogen that fuels the sun flows through your veins in the form of water. The calcium in your bones was born from the death of ancient stars. The iron in your blood once pulsed at the heart of a supernova. Every breath you take releases carbon that may one day feed a tree, or form the body of another being, or drift upward to join the clouds that wrap the world. You are not apart from creation. You are its continuation. The universe, vast as it is, repeats itself in patterns. Galaxies branching like neurons, river deltas echoing the shapes of lungs, lightning forking like roots. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that the same laws shape all things. The spiral of a galaxy, the curl of a seashell, the coil of your DNA. All versions of the same cosmic language. A single design written at every scale. Even your thoughts are cosmic. The electricity in your brain, those flickers of memory and imagination, are tiny lightning storms, powered by the same forces that light up the stars. Every time you wonder, every time you dream, the universe thinks through you. Your awareness is not a fragile spark lost in the dark. It is the dark learning to glow from within. When you breathe, you're participating in a cycle billions of years old. You inhale air that was once part of distant forests, ancient seas, forgotten creatures. You exhale life for the world around you. Each moment of breathing is an exchange between the inner and the infinite. You give and receive with every motion. You are the bridge between cosmos and consciousness. So when you feel small, remember, size is an illusion. You contain the story of the universe, its birth, its light, its silence, its change. You're both the ocean and the drop, the galaxy and the cell, the question and the answer. The same balance that governs the stars governs your heart. Expansion and contraction, heat and calm, pulse and pause. You are the universe at rest, aware of itself for a fleeting, beautiful moment. Tonight, as you lie still, imagine that vastness inside you. See galaxies turning slowly behind your eyelids, their light pulsing with your breath. Feel constellations forming in your chest, each heartbeat another spark of creation. There is no boundary between you and the cosmos, only a continuous field of being folding inward and outward endlessly. Let that realization fill you, not as thought, but as peace. You don't have to reach for the universe. You already hold it. Every star you see is mirrored within. Every breath you take is cosmic motion made intimate. You are the universe, breathing, resting, dreaming itself awake. Between one heartbeat and the next, there is a pause. It lasts less than a second, yet within that pause the whole of you rests. Your blood still flows, your breath still moves, but the rhythm softens, time loosens its grip. That brief stillness is a reflection of the universe's own silence, the hush between pulses of creation. Everywhere in nature, silence is woven between sound. Waves rise and fall, leaving a quiet moment before the next one. Wind rushes through the trees, then stops to let the leaves settle. Even light itself flickers in quantum rhythm, existing in tiny bursts rather than as an unbroken beam. The universe is not one long note. It is music made from intervals. In your body, the same pattern plays. Each heartbeat sends energy outward. Each pause invites calm back in. Your breath follows. Inhale, motion, exhale, release. Between them lies the smallest instant of nothing, and it is in that nothing that peace lives. If you listen for it now, you can feel it. That gentle, still point, steady and constant beneath everything else. Scientists once thought silence was the absence of activity, but they've learned that even in the deepest quiet, subtle vibrations remain. Space hums faintly with radiation. Atoms quiver with life. Silence is not emptiness. It is balance. It is where energy rests before becoming form again. Perhaps that is why silence feels sacred. It is the place where the mind stops reaching and simply is. When you enter it, you touch the same stillness that fills the spaces between stars, the same breath that pauses between the universe's own heartbeats. In that moment, you're neither thinking nor doing. You're simply being, infinite and safe. The great rhythm of existence is written like this: expansion, pause, return, galaxies spin, stars flare, worlds turn, all moving to that same unspoken tempo. And here you are, following it unconsciously. Every second of your life, your heart mirrors the cosmos, your pauses mirror eternity. So as you lie in the darkness, place a hand over your chest. Feel the pulse, count the stillness between. Let that silence expand until it fills the room, until it feels like space itself has stopped to breathe with you. Nothing is required, nothing must be fixed. The pause is enough. This is the language of peace, not words, not movement, but the quiet heartbeat of existence. Between every sound, every breath, every thought, silence waits, kind, patient, eternal, and within it you will always find yourself again. Every journey of light, of thought, of life, eventually circles back to quiet. The stars that once roared with fusion become cool embers. The waves that travel for miles dissolve softly upon the shore. Even your own mind, after wandering through countless dreams and memories, finds its way home to silence. Stillness is not the end of motion. It is the point where motion finally understands itself. You can feel it now, the slow unwinding. Your breath has become softer, your thoughts lighter. You're no longer reaching outward into the galaxies of imagination. You're turning inward, toward the calm at the center of everything. This is the same stillness that exists at the heart of a storm, the same balance that holds planets in orbit. It does not resist, it simply is. Returning to stillness doesn't mean emptying the world of sound or movement. It means seeing motion as part of rest. Waves flowing over an ocean that never truly leaves its bed. Within you, that ocean is the mind. Its surface ripples with thought, emotion, and memory. But beneath lies vastness, quiet, unbroken, eternal. The deeper you go, the slower everything becomes until there is no more effort, no more striving, only being. The universe moves in cycles, expansion and return, creation and rest, light and shadow. Even time in its endless progression bends toward renewal. There is no true loss in this rhythm, only transformation, the melody of existence completing its phrase before beginning again. In sleep you echo this same truth. You drift away from the noise of day, dissolving into night's embrace, so that life may begin again in the morning. Stillness restores the pattern. As the mind quiets, you start to feel that even silence has texture. It hums faintly, not as sound, but as presence. It's the soft awareness that remains when everything else fades. The awareness that says, I am here. I have always been here. That awareness does not need to do anything. It simply watches, holding space for the rhythm of all things. Return to that now. Let your awareness rest like starlight on calm water. Let thoughts rise and fall without trying to hold them. Let the world around you become part of your breathing. Every sound, every stillness, part of the same slow exhale. This is the heart of the journey, the place all galaxies and souls eventually reach. The quiet center, where everything flows yet nothing moves. It is not emptiness, it is fullness beyond measure. It is peace without edges, motion without need, presence without thought. You have arrived. The stars above still turn, the world still breathes, but you, the part of you that listens, can finally rest. There is nothing left to seek, nothing left to fix. Only stillness waiting patiently as it always has. In this stillness the universe is whole again, and so are you. You have travelled far tonight, across the stars, through dust and light, through the breath of time itself. You have wandered the quiet landscapes of galaxies and the deeper fields of your own heart. Now the journey begins to fade, not as an ending, but as a soft descent, the gentle drift into sleep, where everything finally merges into calm. The universe too drifts. Its galaxies move apart in silence, stars exhale their last light, and space stretches endlessly outward, cool and serene. And yet, within that infinite motion, there is deep peace, the understanding that there is nowhere else to be. The cosmos rests inside its own expansion, breathing slowly, endlessly. So do you. Let your breath follow that rhythm, the vast, quiet pulse of everything. Inhale gently, as though you're gathering starlight. Exhale slowly, as though releasing it back to the dark, each breath smaller, slower, softer, each thought lighter, dimmer, fading into stillness. The body grows heavier, as if gravity is welcoming you home. You are safe here. The night holds you the way space holds the stars, effortlessly. There is nothing you must do, nothing you must solve, nowhere you must go. The universe is already complete, and you are already part of it. Every cell, every whisper of energy, every flicker of awareness belongs to the same quiet whole. If a thought arises, let it pass like a comet crossing the dark, beautiful, brief, gone. If an image comes, a face, a memory, a dream, let it soften as light fades beneath the horizon. There is no need to hold. Sleep is the art of releasing. The universe does it every night, folding its light inward, letting the stars rest behind clouds. You are not falling asleep. You are being carried, like dust in the glow of starlight, like a leaf drifting down a slow river, like a galaxy turning in its endless loop. You're moving deeper into peace, not falling down, but flowing in. The mind unwinds, the breath slows, the heart keeps its steady rhythm, a quiet drum echoing through eternity. All around you the great silence hums. It is not empty. It is full of warmth, of memory, of light folded into calm. It has waited patiently for you to return to it, the same way the sea waits for each wave to come home. Let go. You are already there. The stars, the air, your pulse, your breath, all part of the same lullaby, the same cosmic rhythm of rest. There is nothing outside of it. There never was. Drift now, weightless, timeless, free. The universe is sleeping with you, through you, as you. And when morning comes, it will awaken with you, shining again from within. For now there is only this. stillness, breath, light, and peace. The final drift into sleep. The journey is complete, though it was never meant to end. What began as motion has become stillness. What was stillness now becomes motion again. This is the quiet truth the universe whispers in every breath, every tide, every heartbeat. Everything flows. The galaxies continue their slow spin across the dark. Stars fade and new ones kindle. Planets drift through invisible currents of gravity, never lost, never hurried. Even silence moves, not as sound, but as presence, a steady pulse through all that exists. There is no beginning or ending here, only continuity, the endless flow of being becoming itself. The same current moves through you. You're not separate from it. The blood that warms your hands, the breath that fills your lungs, the thoughts that rise and dissolve, all a part of this river of existence. Every molecule, every shimmer of light, every sigh is drawn along in the same serene direction. Nothing resists, nothing clings, everything flows. There is comfort in that, a deep assurance that nothing is ever truly still, nor ever truly gone. Change is the way of peace, the way the cosmos renews itself endlessly. To flow is to belong, to let go is to continue. Every ending is a beginning folded softly within itself. So, as you rest here at the edge of wakefulness, feel that current carrying you. The body grows weightless, the breath becomes the tide. Awareness widens, then dissolves into the horizon of quiet. You're drifting now, not away, but into alignment, with the rhythm that moves stars, atoms, and dreams alike. Everything you have seen, everything you have been, remains part of this motion. The universe holds it all perfectly, effortlessly. It asks nothing of you but to rest, to trust the flow, to allow yourself to be carried. There is no separation between you and the infinite, only movement, only harmony. And as you drift into the deepest sleep, remember these words, the soft closing of tonight's voyage, the heartbeat of AstraFlow itself. Everything flows. Sleep in that motion.